Brandon, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us here in Berlin. And before we get into the sort of key conversations that are happening at SuperReturn International, perhaps you could just fill me in on what's happening at Juniper Square and what your teams are excited about at the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to be excited about. We get excited about solving our customers' problems, and there's a lot of challenges out there today. There's tighter liquidity, there's international trade concerns, increasing LP demands. And at Juniper Square, I think we're really uniquely positioned to help solve those problems in a lot of different ways, whether it's I need a best of breed LP experience and LP portal to answer questions from our LPs. I want to empower our CFO with a tech-enabled fund administrator. I want to provide the best-in-class technology to my IR team so they can fundraise faster. Because we have that connected ecosystem of both services and technology, we can really solve those problems with our customers in a really efficient way. And on top of all of that, we've announced a $200 million R&D investment in AI to make sure our clients can take advantage of all the innovation that's happening there today.
Exciting times by the sound of it. Lauren, you're obviously quite new to the firm, but exciting for you too.
Right, no, absolutely. And Juniper Square has been operating in the US and implementing those solutions for over a decade now. And we're excited, as a Luxembourger, I'm excited to have them in Luxembourg, and we're excited to announce that we have an office in Luxembourg now to attack Europe and bring over those solutions to the European market, because there is still a void of certain solutions that Juniper Square has developed in-house that will absolutely be loved by market players in Europe.
I did mention there you're new to the firm, so how are you finding it, and what would you say, how would you characterize Juniper Square with your kind of wealth of industry kind of experience?
That's a very good question. And what intrigued me most about Juniper Square is that it's a different kind of service provider coming from the financial tech background. So it's not an established bank or service provider that is using AI and technology to standardize and automate systems, but it is actually a Silicon Valley, financial technology company that has created a solution that was pretty quickly accepted by the fund admin market, now going into fund admin and coming over to Europe. So from a different angle, that was very intriguing to me.
So we're going to talk about what was on everybody's minds here. You've had time to soak in the atmosphere here at SuperReturn International. It's an incredible event, 5,000 of the industry here. So what are the hot topics that you're hearing repeated? And you mentioned obviously the sort of challenging environment that we're in, but what is it that you're hearing from people that you want to work with?
It is, our customers need to modernize, they need to scale, they have to produce returns, and they have to do all of that at the same time. And I think one of the things that we're laser focused on to do that is AI, and that's obviously a big topic in trend here. And I think it's actually underestimated how much AI is going to change the industry. Just, I've heard in the next 10 years, 15 years, we really think in the next 24 months, there's going to be fundamental changes there. And at Juniper, the technology that we're building is really going to create the assistant that sits alongside the IR professional to tell them what's the next best email to send, the next best meeting to have to raise capital faster, to sit alongside the CFO to get the quarter end close faster with more accurate data, and really rising to those challenges in a way that allows our clients to do more with less, to raise capital faster, to produce the returns and focus on what they're good at, so they don't have to worry about all the kind of commodity services and background noise that's their day to day. We think AI is really going to transform that in the next 24 months.
It sounds very streamlining, but you're also describing a synergy there between the human factor and the computing factor, if you like. So Lauren, is that something you're seeing, that it's very much alongside the professionals that make this industry what it is?
Exactly. Technology has been used for decades in the industry, and especially recently with AI, with Gen AI, of course, that brings it to a whole nother level. But our founder, Alex Robinson, also recently talked about this in a podcast, where in fund admin, it's so customized, and we see this at the conference. The quality of the panel is really good and is really segregated amongst the different asset classes, and it's going very in deep. And what we see is that this industry is very customized, tailored to specific needs of investors and GPs. And you're right to say that you will always have this human-to-human interaction where, yes, using technology to automate and standardize certain processes and help with the labor-intense work, absolutely. But on the flip side, you always have a need for this human-to-human operational expert interaction with the CFOs and the COOs on GP level.
The other interesting factor in it all is that AI is obviously a talking point in terms of not just how you're using it for efficiencies within your own business, but also how that's going to disrupt whatever you're investing in. So are you trying to sort of give a bit of a lens into that as well? And, you know, what are going to be safer bets when potentially AI could be disrupting so much in the future?
Yeah, one of the key ways that we do that, and it's going to become a commodity very shortly, is just, can I access all of that information in one place, and can I ask questions of my portfolio companies and get the right answer in real time so I can make faster, better decisions about the companies that I'm investing in, how are they using AI. And really, I think a lot of our customers partner with Juniper Square because they want to future-proof their investments, they want to future-proof their firm, and they don't necessarily have the skills or technology in-house to do that, but they can look to a firm like Juniper Square to say, please be my partner. I don't know what's coming in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. So partner with Juniper Square to really future-proof yourself.
And in a more competitive environment that we're looking at now for private equity, they've had quite a nice environment for, you know, a couple of decades, and it's more challenging now, more competitive. So every edge that you can have is going to differentiate you too.
True. And one of the big problems that we see is still persistent in the industry is the investor experience. Again, our co-founder Alex Robinson joked about this, that when he was an investor in a real estate fund, he received truckloads of documents to sign. And this is still a problem today. And I've been talking about this problem in Europe and in Luxembourg particularly for years now, and most recently within the Luxembourg House of Financial Technology. And Luxembourg as a country within the EU and together with the EU is committed to solve this problem on an EU level. And that's another thing that intrigued me at Juniper Square when I talked about this to a friend who had recently joined Juniper Square. The ideas that we're discussing within the government, how to solve this problem on the EU level. He explained to me how Juniper Square actually solved this already in the US and now bringing this over to Europe, and I was immediately hooked.
Because it is a regulated industry, there is a lot of red tape and there's a lot of paperwork.
Yes, absolutely. And it is one of those things where again, our clients look to us to go, hey, we don't want to deal with any of that. Please take that off my plate. And it's going to get harder and harder. Our clients have to do more with less over time, and we do want them focusing on what they're best at, and they can leave the rest to us.
So you're describing there kind of making this an easier environment to work in, taking some of that labour-intensive work out of the mix. So what are you most excited about at Juniper Square for the next, say, 12 to 18 months now? Having been at a forum like this where you've taken the temperature of the industry?
I think it's the pace of innovation. So we use AI tools internally as well. We're already seeing a 30 to 50% increase in the productivity of our R&D teams using tools like Cursor, Augment Code, Lovable, and others. So not only are you going to see the innovation that I think is going to be quite game-changing, but it's going to come at a faster pace than people think, and we're seeing it internally. It's not just hype. We're seeing it play through, and we're passing that efficiencies along to our GPs, and they're starting to see the results of that, and they're going to see it at an increasing rate. So all in all, I think people will be very excited about the innovation that's coming.
And as the new boy, you've got lots to look forward to, really getting your feet under that table.
No, absolutely. And one thing I would add is also, I'm looking forward to Juniper Square in Europe providing a more fun experience to operational staff, using the technology that Juniper Square is using, in-house proprietary technology, to make their work life easier and more enjoyable.
Laurent, Brandon, thank you so much for sharing your insights. Great to talk to you here at SuperReturn. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.